Hello everybody, welcome back for another video. Hope you're all doing well and that you're all having a great day. To start things off, it says Bitcoin swinging around $15,500 US. Will it break $17,000 resistance during this weekend? There are a lot of articles, as you might expect at the moment, saying very bullish things about Bitcoin's price, the crypto market's price, and where things are going to go. This has been a relatively reoccurring event over the last 3 to 4 weeks. As I think about 2.5, maybe 3 weeks ago, we were at $10,200 per Bitcoin or something like that. We started flinging around the 11 and 12,000s, and now we are, it says up there, it says $15,476 per Bitcoin. A lot of people think, or rather, I'll put it to you this way. About a day ago, we hit $15,950 US, somewhere around there. A lot of people think that the market is simply taking a breather, and that over the weekend, we are going to see an actual 16,000, and then from there, a 17,000, and this is why we keep getting a lot of those calls for a brand new all-time high. Because basically, we've passed by multiple heavy resistance levels, and now it's a matter of, I think, the actual news just kind of reaching other people as to exactly what's happening within the cryptocurrency market, which we're also going to get into because a lot of crazy stuff has been happening. This one says, veteran analyst Tone Vase says Bitcoin charging to all-time high. Here's what's next for the leading cryptocurrency. I included this one in it because historically, Tone Vase has been the only person to consistently say that Bitcoin was going down. Bitcoin goes up by $8,000. He's like, nope, it's too hot. The price has to go down. So the fact that even Tone Vase, who's usually the only negative Nancy in the room, is saying that Bitcoin's price is going to continue going higher or hit a new all-time high is in some way itself hyper significant. This one says, analyst, Ethereum is about to follow Bitcoin and see a parabolic move. Ethereum is all over the news today. I chose some of the best pickings from everything that's kind of out there because a lot of people are bullish is no longer the word. It's another level of where all of this is going to start going. I think Ethereum's price has risen by $65 in the last day or something, like day or two or something like that. It's something absolutely insane, but this is once we got the actual confirmation about the beginning and the actual open up date for Ethereum 2.0. I forgot the name of it for a second. I was like Ethereum 9. Anyway, and this one is also quite popular as well. It says crypto asset manager Grayscale. Their Ethereum trust has crossed over $1 billion in assets under management just for Ethereum. The milestone means Grayscale is now managing $1 billion worth of Ether on behalf of its clients. Grayscale's Ethereum trust allows investors to take indirect exposure to Ether in the form of a security, while avoiding the challenges of buying and storing Ether directly. Last month, Ethereum's Grayscale trust became a registered reporting company with the SEC to file quarterly and annual reports with the regulator. We can only assume that this has to do with the fact that Ethereum's price has jumped up so dramatically, but I don't think they have they don't have a chart here anywhere. I think Ethereum is their second largest coin next to Bitcoin that they hold, and then they have Litecoin, XRP, Bcash. Is it Zcash as well that they also hold? I don't remember the other. I think they only have like 4 or 5 other coins. The point is, yes, Ethereum's price is rising quite rapidly. A lot of people think that it is going to continue, especially as we start getting the actual numbers of how much is staked and how much is going to be. This also ties directly into it as well because, like I said, there's a lot of Ethereum news. Ethereum creator Vitalik Buterin has sent nearly $1.5 million worth of Ether to the Ether 2.0 deposit contract, which went live on Wednesday. It says an essential piece of Ethereum Serenity upgrade, the Beacon Chain deposit contract, is now live. This begins the transition to ETH 2.0, and there's the deposit contract address right there. According to GitHub records, the ETH 2.0 deposit contract, which is that, and the Genesis chain should be taking place in early November. The earliest it will happen is midnight on the 1st of December. Before the Genesis block can be launched, a minimum of 524,000 Ether needs to be staked, i.e. sent to the Ethereum 2.0 deposit contract address. Users who stake a minimum of 32 Ether on the network will be able to stake by themselves without having to join a staking pool. And the craziest part, and I think this is what will get people really going for it, is that the interest rate that you'll receive from staking your coins will be anywhere between 8 to 15%. That is monstrous. And it's also, it's not that it's a lot, but it's not, Normally, things like that would be unsustainable. The really interesting part is that if everything works out like Vitalik said, Ethereum 2.0 is going to have a burn feature on top of it as well. And apparently the burn feature for transactions, the transaction fees, I believe, will be burned during the actual transactions that are taking place. And if we have enough transactions happening through the network, it'll actually burn coins equally to the new coins that are going to be produced, which then leads us to another discussion or topic of the people who are only going to be able to receive the new Ether are the people who have 32 or more Ether. So, it creates another, I don't want to use the word divide, but it creates a situation where the only way you can get new Ether is if you already have Ether, so people are going to start collecting more Ether, and then the other Ether that other people could have had is going to be burned through the actual transaction fees. So the news is, I think Vitalik sent 3,200 Ether to the actual address. It has the stuff somewhere around here talking about how I think we have 15,000 in total or something like that right now. And while it's not absolutely amazing or not a lot of Ether, they assume that the number is going to pick up as we move further towards the 1st of December. I assume, for those of you who weren't here during EOS's launch, we were missing a huge, significant amount of EOS that had to be staked inside the network as well. And at the very end, the developers kind of just threw hundreds of thousands into it just to kind of get things activated. So I assume maybe the same thing will happen with Ethereum 2.0. Anyway, the point is, yes, there's a lot of Ethereum news all over the place. Adoption, money, where this is going, how high it's going to go. People are predicting prices and stuff like that, and they're all absolutely astronomically insane. I think at this point we are fairly secure in being able to pass by the $1,200, which was our previous all-time high. But I think if this does work out, and we see a huge amount of Ether staked, and more Ether gets wrapped, and this and that, and so, and more usage on the network and the transaction per second do actually increase, we're probably, this is just me, I do not know the future, we're probably going to see at least a 10x in Ethereum's current price, because the adoption and usage of Ethereum by banks and countries is just completely out of control. And I think it's still, wait, there we go, it's like screaming in my ear. I don't think a lot of people are paying attention to that, but I mean, it works out for the early adopters, and everyone else will be running to get as much Ether as they can. And without further ado, let's move on. Next up, Bitcoin addresses with a large balance have been on the rise following the recent uptick in the cryptocurrency's price in the last couple of weeks, not even months. Current data from BitInfo charts indicates that the number of Bitcoin wallets holding at least $10,000 worth of Bitcoin has surged to more than 1 million. This suggests that Bitcoin investors have been buying more Bitcoin as the prices have continued to grow. Logically, according to BitInfo charts, the total number of Bitcoin addresses with at least $10,000 worth of Bitcoin surpassed $1 million. These addresses is 1,095,150 addresses for those of you who wanted that number. Currently, $10,000 will buy you 63 million Satoshis, or 0.63 of a Bitcoin. Following the current price of the cryptocurrency at $15,630 on CoinMarketCap. Meanwhile, Bitcoin addresses with 100,000, $1 million, and $10 million worth of Bitcoin summed up to, I'm not reading those numbers. It's a lot of people. Yes, people are becoming richer because Bitcoin is going higher. And this will only continue as Bitcoin continues moving higher. And this is the kind of news that gets a lot of people into Bitcoin, because who does not want to own $10,000 of anything? It's a good feeling to be able to say, hey, I have 10K worth of this or 10K worth of that. I don't know why I'm doing all these things. The point is, yeah, people are getting richer. Of course they are. I don't think I have the other news in here. Nope. The Winklevis are now like mega billionaires or something like that. I forgot what the actual news was, but they're incredibly rich now since the price of Bitcoin has been going up. And that article that I was looking at was only focused on their Bitcoin holdings. Safe to assume they probably hold some Gemini dollars. They probably hold I want to say Ethereum, and probably tons of real estate because they were already rich before. But now I think they're crypto billionaires, meaning just within their crypto holdings, they are billionaires in that aspect. Of course, we always get rich people in the news. Anyway, yes, people are richer because the market's going up. That's how markets tend to work. And without further ado, let's move on. The room is echoing so much, and maybe I'm just screaming a lot. Am I screaming louder today? I don't think I'm screaming louder today, but I can hear a really weird echo. You can't hear it because you're not here, but you can. All right, let's move on. This is a continuation of something I was talking about a day or two ago, and people told me that they couldn't find news on it, or I don't know what the exact argument was. It says the Bank of England said Thursday it would buy up over £150 billion worth of government bonds as it seeks to revive an ailing economy as the country enters a second following news from Bloomberg. The move, term larger than expected by pundits, would help create market demand and lower borrowing costs for the government. And here's the Bloomberg tweet for it right there. Bonds are a fixed income instrument that represent an underlying loan and are used to raise cash from rich investors such as hedge funds, family offices, and endowment funds. I think I've read something about what was happening in the United Kingdom about how they're planning on printing money to boost the economy, and also something to do with interest rates. And I saw a couple of comments, people being like, I could find nothing about that. So here's the actual Bloomberg article. It says, Bank of England Sunak double act attempts to boost ailing UK economy. And here's the other thing that we were talking about with interest rates. It says interest rates held at historic low as Bank of England adds extra 150 billion into economy, and their interest rates currently within the United Kingdom are 0.1%, which is incredibly low. And apparently there are discussions to talk about implementing negative interest rates, which a lot of banks don't want to do. It's usually their last thing that they can do. Like if you have interest rates close to zero and no one's still buying, that's a bad indication. So you typically, logically, will have to make negative interest rates. And if no one's still buying, well, then your economy is completely in trouble. So that's all the UK. Yeah, I just wanted to throw that in there because I remember I saw people and I was like, how weren't people able to find this? Or I think sometimes when I say things, I think that people think that I say things just to say things, maybe to create hype or to create like panic in the air. No, I just tell you what's out there. So I apologize for not having an adequate amount of articles open to show you that I wasn't just talking out of my behind. Anyway, that's the UK news, and let's move on. In news that can only be logic at this point, and I'm very happy because I mention this all the time. I always say, I can't wait till we start getting news of the exact supply decrease or how much Bitcoin is not actually out there. So thank you to whoever put all these numbers together. Square sold a record 160,000 Bitcoin in Q3 of 2020. We went over that yesterday. I think they made, it was like $1.6 billion that they made just from their revenue on Bitcoin. Square alone sold 160,000 Bitcoin in Q3. Just Square. As it stands, consumer demand for Bitcoin far outstrips new supply from mining. The U.S. is in the midst of a Bitcoin boom among financial services companies, investment funds, and payment providers which offer Bitcoin are selling record quantities. For instance, financial services company Square made $1.6 billion. We got that, yada, yada. Investment funds are also buying up and holding Bitcoin in huge quantities. Grayscale added 40,000 Bitcoin to its balance sheet in just October. We went over the news with Grayscale before that if they continue buying this much, I think by next year, I think they're going to have 5% of all the Bitcoin in circulation. That's insane. Much more than the 27,000 Bitcoin which were mined during the month. During October alone, there were 27,000 Bitcoin that were created. Grayscale, one company, purchased 40,000. That's 13,000 more than were created. I know that it sounds simplistic, but you really have to get this into your head that there is not a lot of Bitcoin really floating around. We had this news in March or April from Grayscale. They were buying, I think over the course of, I forgot what it was. I think over the course of 1 week, they had purchased twice as many Bitcoin that had even been mined. It was something insane like that. I don't think people really understand the scarcity, and this is why the prices are rising higher, because it's not just these companies who are buying up tons of Bitcoin. It's hundreds of other companies who are also doing the exact same thing at the exact same time. 27,000 Bitcoin created. Grayscale alone bought 40,000, and at the same exact time, Square sold 160,000. More recently, payment giant PayPal enabled Bitcoin purchases from their accounts. Shortly after adding the feature, CEO Dan Schulman raised buying limits for the cryptocurrency after seeing that demand was 2 times or 3 times what their expectations were. As a result, the crypto industry may be facing a supply crisis. This was said by Charles Edwards. That's a fancy name. Charles Edwards, founder of Capital Investments on Twitter. He argued that companies like Square and Grayscale are facing demand which exceeds the number of mined Bitcoin. He pointed to the fact that 163,000 Bitcoin sold by Square was double the amount that was mined during the same period. He said, this is huge. Square is selling double the Bitcoin that is made, and now PayPal is doing the same. PayPal is almost 3 times Square. We already know that Grayscale, these are just these companies. That's not even counting in normal people on other apps who are also buying these things. Don't forget about Kraken and Coinbase and Binance and OKEX and all the other things, all the cryptocurrency exchanges in India, all those other places. You may have people who are maybe only buying $100, $150 worth of Bitcoin per week or per month. That still adds up rapidly, especially when you're in a market where not only is Bitcoin supply very tiny, but there are a lot of people on the planet who are into Bitcoin. Have you or any of your friends stopped buying Bitcoin or cryptocurrencies through the course of this year? Even if you had $50, you probably threw it into the market. Like, think of how much that all adds up so quickly. The good news is that if there is a supply crisis, it would be great for investors, of course. According to experts such as Edwards, the overwhelming demand coupled with the lack of supply would be favorable for Bitcoin prices going forward. The price of Bitcoin has almost doubled in 2020, going from 7,900 to 15,400 at press time. And even then, we dropped down to 3,500 because of the March madness panic that we had. There's not a lot left, and I think this is going to be the main thing, not even discussing the wrapped stuff and all the other lost Bitcoin and what have you. This is going to be major because the people who do not have or who are waiting on the sidelines to be able to buy, because you'd better believe there are so many people waiting to see if Bitcoin can get back to 20,000, and that's when they'll start buying into it. The higher the price goes, the less Satoshis that they'll get. The less Satoshis that they'll get, the more of a, I want to say, fervor. Everybody wants to own an entire Bitcoin. That's usually the goal. What happens when you see that your buying power is a lot less and Bitcoin's price keeps going up? You go, I need more so that I can have more money and eventually get to an entire Bitcoin. What happens at the exact same time? And don't forget that Jack Dorsey, doesn't he buy like 10 Bitcoin a week or something like that? Like just by himself? Anyway, I love the numbers. Numbers are all that really matter in a situation like this. And I think by the end of next year, we are going to, if Grayscale alone is going to own 5% of all the Bitcoin, if we have over 100 million people on the planet who own some form or some fraction of a Bitcoin, if the richest wallets keep getting richer, it is only a matter of time, and I'm here for it. That's the nicest way of kind of saying it. Next up, in super obvious news, Brazil's economy minister, Paulo Guedes, recently confirmed the country's plan to launch a central bank-backed digital currency. Brazil has become the latest country to announce a CBDC. Guedes revealed plans for launching a CBDC during a special ceremony that celebrated the opening of the 100 millionth digital savings account in Caixa Econômica Federal. I have no idea what the X is. Anyway, he said that the central bank is once again autonomous and and that the digital dimension is booming. The economy minister revealed that Brazil would have its own digital currency and remain ahead of many other countries. And apparently they plan on launching this by 2022. There are many places on the planet that are corrupt. And the introduction of a digital currency is only going to allow them to further exile people from financial markets who should be included. While I think it's interesting that tons of banks are creating central bank digital currencies, it seems that they are only doing so, many of them, in an effort to continue to gain more control of something that should not be controlled. There are many places around the world who have been known historically to steal from their people and to take money away from those who actually need it. And I think it is a shame that things are only going to get worse for many citizens of these places, simply because usually the people in charge are criminals. So that's the central bank news that we have for today. It's going to get real so fast because this is the other... I think this is number 4 out of number 5 on the scale of cryptocurrency adoption. And I mean decentralized cryptocurrencies, namely Bitcoin. Peg number 4 is the creation of government coins in rapid succession in order to take away power from Bitcoin or whatever, sentence you want to kind of use. These will not make it, but they are going to cause damage to the world's economy and to millions, if not billions, of people who are going to be coerced into using them. So, rough times ahead. I will say this again. Make sure that your portfolio is comprised of coins that are going to make it, especially if you are here for the long term. Make sure that you have some type of savings and other types of investments, because the world, she is a-changing. Next up, Switzerland-based crypto bank Sygnum has become the world's first regulated financial entity to launch a staking service for a major cryptocurrency, it announced on Friday. Starting today, users will be able to stake their tezos, a blockchain protocol that allows users to build their own decentralized applications atop its network. Sygnum will provide custody, trading, credit, and staking services for tezos as part of the rollout, and here's their tweet right there. I'm certain at this point tezos is a corporation coin. We never get any news about tezos. Tezos is never really spoken about. Whenever we do get, you can find the other news articles or just watch my other videos. Whenever we do get any type of tezos news, it's always that a major company or financial institution or some type of a bank is looking to offer some kind of tezos staking or use tezos in some sort of way to build something tezos-y on top of it. The point being, cool, wonderful. Every bank will eventually at some point, and I give it 2022, 2023. I think every bank, even smaller banks, will have some type of a cryptocurrency buying option, selling option, custody option, and or staking option. When we start hearing that JP Morgan Chase and Bank of America are offering Ethereum staking, that is when I'm expecting a $10,000 Ether. Absolutely easily, because I know it's going to happen. You know it's going to happen. We can all assume that they are working on making that happen, because banks don't give you that kind of interest rate anymore. You are not getting, what was the other thing from, it was 8 to 15% from staking your Ether? Show me one bank that gives you more than 5% right now. You'd be hard pressed to even find that. So Tezos apparently with Sygnum will give you 5% annually. It's not terrible by any means, especially when you look at the interest rate from banks. I myself don't touch Tezos. I have no real faith in it. I know that it is just a corporation coin, but I do look forward to the future for the earliest cryptocurrency adopters who will be able to take the coins that they've been gathering over the last couple of years, put it into their local bank, put it into their computer, put it wherever they feel most comfortable, and make a good 5,000 extra per month just from staking there. It's going to happen. It's just a matter of when and when prices go up high enough, because the future is very bright for early cryptocurrency adopters. I do not have my phone with me. It is nowhere to be found. I'm not going to get up and look around the house while I'm making this video. So, thank you to all my Patreon supporters. I apologize for not having. I should really just carry the phone with me everywhere. I kind of just leave it in one spot and then I like panically looked for it as the day ends up going on. Thank you to every Patreon supporter. Thank you to everyone who is a member of the channel. Thank you to everyone who's still here. Thank you to everyone who's an investor. I don't know how to. Anyway, at the moment, Bitcoin is like sideways. It's been doing this the entire 24 hours. The news is quite positive that the cryptocurrency market is going to do well. I assume this $400 pullback has to mainly do with the fact that historically, always, people get scared when prices rise what they think to be too high, and they start selling, other people start selling. So you see, here's the sell-off. Here's people buying back into the market, and it's kind of just what it is. I assumption, the weekend may be good. If not, we have still hit very good numbers. They are no longer a resistance, which means that logically we should be able to just pass by them once again, should the market retrace. Chainlink is up by 14%. Sure, why not? Anything else absolutely insane? Not really. I think that I saw the news that it was at XRP over the last like 2 days was up by like 9%. Sure, why not? Tron is up by 3%. Neo's up by 3%. NEM is up by 12%. You know how often we talk about NEM. It's in the news every single day. NEM. That was a joke and a lie. VeChain Thor is up by 11% because why not? It's 2020. Yearn Finance is up by 53% out of complete desperation because no one's really using the coin. And everyone is using it to make quick gains. So, anything else? Anything else really crazy? Nope, nothing too crazy. I do hope that you all enjoyed. I do hope that you all are having a great day, a great morning, a great afternoon, a great evening, wherever you are, wherever you might be. I do hope that it is absolutely fantastic. Thank you all once again for watching and listening. Have a great weekend. Enjoy your time. Enjoy your life. Go do something fun. Go for a walk. I know it's chilly outside in most of the world right now. Put on a coat. Go on a little walk, pick an apple. I have a couple of friends, they've been looking for stuff to do. And one of my friends took her son and they went like pumpkin picking and apple picking and strawberry picking and go pick some stuff somewhere. Thank you all once again for watching and listening, and I will most certainly be talking to you all soon. See you.